Hey, what's going on, guys? Just here with a quick review of the Chapter 9 episode of The Mandalorian. I am really behind. Everybody else has already been talking about all of Season 2, and I am just now making my first video on it, so I apologize for that. But anyway, let's dig right into it. So I'll be honest with you guys, I really do enjoy The Mandalorian, and I've been kind of hoping that they would continue to expand on what makes it great. But if I'm being honest, it's a little conservative compared to what I would like them to do. I think that it's solid all the way around. There's nothing the show is doing wrong, I think. But I'm hoping here in Season 2 that they kind of up the ante a little bit and maybe not just introduce a bunch of new characters, but maybe challenge the character of the Mandalorian himself. Because it seems like most of the time when he comes into an obstacle, he either gets help from somebody or he's able to kind of get through it himself. And I want to see his character challenged a little bit more. So I really love the opening shot in this episode because it kind of showcases this iconic look for the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. He's walking and Baby Yoda is alongside him in his little hover crib thing. It's such an iconic shot because these two characters have really breathed a lot of new life into Star Wars. It's a familiar look because we've seen Mandalorians before and we've seen Yoda's species before, but to see them together like this is such a refreshing concept, and to have the opening shot where they appear like that is such a cool way to start off the episode. So I really enjoyed that first opening scene. So you get this really cool interaction between the Mandalorian and I'm not even sure what his name is, but the character is voiced by John Leguizamo. But it's a funny little moment there, a little opening fight. And it's one thing I really appreciate about The Mandalorian is that a simple conversation can get violent very quickly, and just the scene can turn into a big action set piece just on a whim, and I love that. That kind of unpredictability is really good for a show like this. I will be the first to admit I'm really bad at remembering some of these characters' names, so I apologize if I slip up on a few of them. The next scene kind of sets up the rest of the episode where Mandalorian goes to Tatooine and comes back into contact with that mechanic who helped him out before. She's definitely entertaining, and I enjoy her character fine. I really like that they happen to include, I don't know what they're called, those little droids. They pop up and they compartmentalize really fast whenever you want them to, but they go all the way back to like episode 1. And I always thought they were really entertaining, just kind of your classic goofy Star Wars droid. So I'm always happy to see them for some reason. They just make me happy. Almost anything that reminds me of the prequels just makes me happy when I watch any new Star Wars content. Because I obviously, if you guys know anything about me, it's that I love the prequels. That is, I am a hardcore prequel fanboy, and I am not ashamed to admit it. So obviously we know Mandalorian is trying to get Baby Yoda back to his people, probably the Jedi. And he goes to this town in search of what he thinks is another Mandalorian. Turns out it's not. It's a guy dressed up as Mandalorian. And actually, he's wearing Boba Fett's armor. And wouldn't you know it, it's played by Timothy Olyphant. Olyphant? I can never say his name right. But all I know is he's a fantastic actor, and I literally will watch him in anything and never not be entertained. Also, side note, can I just say that he's just, I mean, obviously he's a very good-looking dude, but like he's aging like fine wine. Like I hope I look that good when I'm his age, because oh my gosh. So at this point in the episode, you don't know what happened to Boba Fett, but you can presume that he's either dead or missing or somewhere nearby. So Cobb Vanth, played by Timothy Olyphant, he's this marshal of this little mining town, and so they team up to take down this giant crate dragon. And if they do, then Cobb Vanth will give the Mandalorian the armor. So seems fair, right? And so here you have, to me, the two major standouts of this episode. You have one, Cobb Vanth, who is just incredibly entertaining. I love his backstory. I love how he came into the role as the marshal of this little town. Because just something about Timothy Olyphant, I don't know what it is, but he brings this amazing charisma and likability to every role that I've ever seen him in. Even when he's a villain, he's still likable because he's just so entertaining. I don't know what it is. He's got that X factor, or whatever you call it. So I'm always happy to see him in the role. The other really amazing aspect of this episode is that you can tell they really upped the visuals for this season, because that crate dragon is a darned impressive creature. I also really love the concept of them teaming up with the Tusken Raiders to actually take this thing down. So that's pretty darn cool. And it all ends in this giant set piece where you have Mandalorian and Cobb Vanth and the local townspeople and the Tusken Raiders all teaming up to take down this crate dragon. And it is just awesome. It's an amazing set piece. And of course, it finishes with this big action moment where the Mandalorian obviously comes in and saves the day. And it's pretty much the perfect episode to showcase what makes The Mandalorian a great show. It highlights how cool the Mandalorian himself is. It's got some really funny Baby Yoda moments, And you can tell that they've really decided to kind of, be a little bit more bold and really expand on the visual fidelity of the show's production values and everything. So it's not an episode that necessarily moves the story forward a ton, but I don't really mind that. I'm okay with episodes that are a little bit more filler, as long as it's done with quality. It's a really enjoyable episode, honestly. I like the little tease at the end with Boba Fett. I don't really know if that's going to go anywhere, but I always appreciate that actor as well. So, and Cobb Vanth, let me just say, he to me is the standout character of this episode, maybe in the whole season so far, and I'm hoping they bring him back somehow. Anyways, with that said, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10 ranking for this episode. It's just solid all the way around. No, it's not the most bold in terms of the storytelling. It doesn't do a ton for the overarching plot, but it ties in enough to where you can enjoy the ride. Plus, you get to see the Mandalorian take down a giant desert lizard dragon worm thing. In fact, the whole thing kind of reminded me of Tremors. In case you've ever seen Tremors, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's it, folks. That's all I got for you. That's my quick thoughts on Chapter 9 for the Season 2 of The Mandalorian. So far, it started off really good, and I hope they continue up with the quality. So what did you guys think about this episode? Any standout moments or characters, anything that really resonated well with you? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to see more content like this in the future. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.